forward to getting it going.
You can tell when you get to a point where you're getting tired of practicing against each other. And the exhibitions are great because there's a lot of things that you learn and you can work with and try to improve. At the same time, they're so spaced out. After a couple days practicing against each other, you're like, all right, who we got? So first game of the year, everybody's excited. And the good thing, instead of always competing against each other, now you're back cheering for each other.
What do you guys think you've learned in those exhibition games, and especially with a new look roster? I mean, completely new.
I think we got everything we wanted out of them from the standpoint. The first one, we got a chance to invite the fans. They got a chance to see the guys for the first time. Our players got a chance to see just how we do starting lineups and how games are run at the Foster. So there's some familiarity. So at least when we have the first game, they'll know, okay, I got it. Now I know where to go, what to do. So now they can focus on basketball. With the IU, it was great because you're in a big venue. We'll have that several times this year in neutral games or other arenas that are kind of similar, and playing a different opponent that you don't have a lot of scout film, so you really have to rely on your tendencies, your base defense, base offense, and what you can work on and improve from there. At the same time, playing on the road and just how game day routines will work. So we got one at home, got one on the road. Now we're ready for the season to begin. And most importantly, no one got injured in those games.
I'm sure some of it's still yet to be determined, but do you have a better idea of roles on the team?
Yeah, that's something that I think will continue to evolve. It was great in Germany, but we didn't have our full roster there. And so now, I mean, we've had a couple games with guys that couldn't play in Germany to see how they respond. At the same time, it's such a small sample size. And the tough thing is in practice to make lineups competitive. Sometimes they're even and you don't get to see, well, how would this lineup look or that lineup look? And so I would think the non-conference season for most programs nowadays will be really important to try to know what they're doing come conference time. And lineups that we might not have seen yet, we'll get a chance to see in the next couple weeks. And those might be better lineups than the lineups we put out there so far. And we don't know because, again, sometimes if you, for instance, go really small, well, now you're going against really big guys, so it's not position, it doesn't match up and gives you a false sense. If you go with a real big lineup, well, you're not matching up against guys that you go in a game against. So, again, first couple games will give us opportunities to see some things.
Coach, we did an interview with Pat Nunley. Josie set it up for a preview on the season, and the expectations question kind of came into play where maybe this year Baylor not as highly expected as they were in years previous, but he did say the one constant is why they might have some expectations is because Scott Drew is coaching them. How do you feel like that plays into each team that you coach and this team moving forward as you guys should be a tournament team despite a new roster turnover?
Well, that means, first of all, I need to get him a Christmas gift. So Pat will get that. But second of all, I know that anything we do, it's because the players do it. They're the ones on the court. And head coach is only as good as his staff, and we've been blessed to have great staffs over the years. And I think we have a really good staff this year, a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. The staff really gets along, and we've gotten along, and I think the humility and Jesus came to serve, not be served. I think that starts with your staff and then transcends to your team. But I say all that to say, with such a new roster, you understand why people don't have us picked high. At the same time, I think if you learn anything from college football, I mean, 3 of the teams that were in the top 5 aren't in the top 5 anymore. And So there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of, okay, this team's talented, but they might not fit together. This team's talented, but they might not respond to the style, the culture, or the coaching. I mean, so there's going to be a lot of speculation with not a lot of facts behind it. If 71% of Big 12 starting lineups are new, I mean, no one knows really how things will go, including us coaches. So the best thing is fans, we're all witnessing things for the first time together, but we do it together. So hopefully you could be loud and in the stands and cheer for these guys, because they've done a great job on and off the court thus far. I mean, academically, great summer, one of the best GPAs. Have a chance to have the best GPA in the fall in school's history. We had 5 people part of our program baptized last week. So, I mean, our pillars of preparing champions for life, spiritual, academic, character formation, basketball, the first 3 we've been doing really well in. And the basketball part usually follows, because if you're right off the court, you're right on the court.
Scott, after this first game, what's one thing you want the fans to be able to say about this team walking away?
Great question. And I think everyone in that locker room wants them to walk away being proud of the effort, the togetherness, the chemistry, the love for the front of the jersey, how hard they play for each other. And again, I think that's part of why the first home game in the exhibition, the first road game was important, because when nerves, uncertainties, it slows you down in what you do, and we want to be able to play carefree, and they'll get that more and more as they get used to playing in the Foster and playing the opponents will be playing. But for most of them, they haven't been in these environments, so it's great that they'll have that opportunity come Monday. And we had the exhibition, but obviously real games are a little different, especially with the students here.
What's the status of Bodo Bodo?
Bodo is still TBD, to be determined. So won't play in the first game, and hopefully he keeps progressing. His attitude's been great, but don't have an exact date when he will return.
How does that change things from like when you were first putting this team together back in the spring? I mean, obviously you probably looked at him as a key piece, rim protector.
Well, and I think that's part of sports. You put together any roster, like, hey, we're going to build it, and we got a great left tackle, we got a great running back, we got a great quarterback, and then once they go, it's next man up. Now we're in basketball season, same thing. Hey, we're bringing in a center that was one of the nation's best in a lot of categories last year, and until he's able to get on the court, next man up. And the good thing is we got options, and we got depth, we got some length. And those were 2 things we tried to add in the offseason, because we already have one ACL injury. That's why we got to knock on wood. We don't get any more. But we're built to handle more injuries than in the past because of the depth and length.
Scott, when you look to the expectations for Tunde, and maybe just what VJ did and then what he's doing in the NBA too, has he given any advice to Tunde? And then what do you expect for him? What's the pressure level going into this season to kind of carry that torch of lottery picks?
Well, every player's different, and their pressure expectations usually comes from their inner circle. And we've been blessed because a lot of the players that we've had that have been so successful have had great circles. And if what you hear from your inner circle allows you to grow and improve and trust the process, it makes it a lot easier on you. And I think you look at VJ, started out last year, and he finished better than he started. And I think every one of our freshmen improved in some area. I mean, Keontae became a really good facilitator, and hence has played point for Utah a lot and been really successful. You look at Ray J, he had a great night last night. I think he really, one of the early games, almost had double figures turnovers, and his ball security and how he improved what he was doing. Jacoby Eve, from first game to last game, how much they improved. freshmen tend to improve more than anybody, and Tunde will be the same way. He will have ups, he'll have downs, just like every player, but freshmen tend to have a little bigger swings. The great thing is there's certain things Tunde provides with his size, athleticism, that should be constant, and his physicality, his rebounding, his defense should travel. He's really improved with his ball security. His shooting has been pretty consistent, but there is an adjustment for every freshman. He'll go through that. And at the end of the day, what I think makes our program so special is the past players all pour in to the current players. The other day, Ray J was here, and Ray J talked to several of the guys, and he's where they were, and he's where they want to be. And can't thank those vets enough for pouring into the current guys. And the guys we bring in the program are partway here because of them. And when our guys leave, they'll do the same thing for the next group. Sorry, it's a long answer.
Did you see Charles Barkley ask VJ
I
if
sure did,
Scott
yeah.
Drew was holding him back?
Charles Barkley is the best, by the way, and everything he does is awesome. And if VJ gets some new paintings or stuff on the wall, I guess he owes Charles another box of Krispy Kreme, because I know Charles likes those.
If you were to dress up as the GAs, what would that costume look like?
Well, first of all, they can wear things a lot tighter than I can, so it would not look good. Thank you, guys. All right, what do we got for football this week?
We've been playing really hard, so knowing that Monday when we go out there and we play, it'll actually count, so it'll mean a lot more for us.
Dan, kind of same thing. Coming over here as one of the veteran leaders, how have you seen this group mature, at least through the offseason and then maybe those 2 exhibition games?
First off, in the beginning of the summer, just meeting everybody individually and not as a group was really dope. Like everybody coming in one by one and just meeting everybody and talking to everybody one by one. I knew this was going to be a good group just because I felt and like just reading them, like there's no egos and they're all good guys. So I knew once we get together, we would build that chemistry fast. All of us are not just all like too serious and can't joke around and get to know each other more and hang out off the court and things like that. So we're a really fun group. When we get in between those lines, we get really serious. Everybody is very, very competitive and likes to win. So when we're doing 5-on-5 or drills, it's very competitive. Who makes more shots or who gets more stops, who gets a kill and things like that. So far coming along, it's been a lot of joy factors in this group. Just being together, like playing with each other, and like picking each other up, and we all hold each other accountable, for like mistakes, or if we're not bringing it that day, or if we're not going all hard on the floor, if we're not diving for loose balls, things like that. We all hold each other accountable and pick each other up, and if we see someone's down, we try to put that joy into them and get them ready to go. And it's been great, man. I'm excited to go against another team with a different jersey.
For both of y'all, I guess kind of in the same vein as that, what's the one thing you want fans to be able to walk away from this first game saying about the way y'all play as a team?
Go ahead.
I want them to see how joyful we are when we're on the court together, how together we are when we're on the court together, and even when we're on the bench and the bench itself, the staff, the managers, the GAs, the media, our other teammates, they're not the 5 that are on the court, just how excited we are when our team does good and when we get stops, and how joyful we are with other teams. With our other players doing better. And I'll say just like how blessed we are, and also like our hard working and how we don't give up on plays, and how hard we fight, win or loss, just to see that we put our heart out there.
Yeah, I think that was said perfectly. I think one of the biggest strengths for this team that people may not know yet is the way to overcome adversity. I think what happened in Germany was honestly the best thing that could have happened to this team. Yeah, you want to win a gold, but the way it went out, the way it happened, I think this team learned tremendously from it. So when we come to practice and the last exhibition we had, we took those games seriously. Like it wasn't our practices and games it's not a joke. Like everything we do out there, it means something. So I think the one thing you can take away from this team is that we're gonna fight through adversity. Like if anything happens, anything comes, like you'll see the togetherness. It won't just be a thing we talk about when we're winning. Like we're winning, so now we're gonna be together. No, like when things hit, when stuff hit the fan, you'll see a team that shows up for each other. So I think that's a big thing you'll take away from Monday.
And also, one thing that really shocked me with this group was our mature level, how our maturity comes together as a team. For example, in the beginning of summer, we were about a week into practice. I'm pretty sure we've got done our 6th or 7th practice, and we scrimmaged. And players on the team, just like when we're scrimmaging with just us, our first time together, we kind of was slacking through it, shooting shots we wouldn't shoot, not taking it as serious, not getting back on defense. And a couple guys on the team got up and was like, hey man, we're not doing runs no more if we're not taking it serious or trying to take this time to get better as a team. And I thought that was pretty dope, just all around the university and colleges, there's a lot of teams that when they play up and down with themselves, they just try to goof around or, and things like that. But the teams that harp on those times and take advantage of those times and take it serious and play defense like it's practice, play offense like it's practice, and work on our plays and things like that. That was really dope, and it showed a high level of maturity for this team. So that was pretty cool to see too.
JJ, one thing that Coach has kind of repeated about this team several times is they've got something to prove. Do you see that in this group in terms of, just a lot of y'all are playing power four for the first time. Maybe some of the outside expectations aren't there, but do y'all have something to prove?
To be honest, it feels like a little bit of deja vu. Last year, my team was picked second to last in our league, so we kind of had that same something to prove mindset, and it's not something you can honestly like teach or look at it and be like, oh, like they have something. It's kind of like a feeling. Like last year when like my teammates was like, when we went out there every game, like it was like, all right, we have to prove like everybody wrong. Like they really don't think we're that good, and I think this is the same year. Like it's crazy how I come to Baylor and I know the history of Baylor basketball, so I'm automatically thinking, oh, we're gonna be really good, and then not everybody else thinks that. So it feels great, honestly. I know that I got soldiers that are ready to die for me, and they know I'll do the same. So it's a great feeling, and having the coaches behind your back, you definitely have something to prove, and it feels good.
Dan, just kind of the same, along those same lines, like you coming here from Cincinnati to a new roster, how do you think those expectations, like the story started in Germany, how do you think that story is going to end up as this season progresses?
Coming from Cincinnati and staying in the Big 12 during the transfer process was interesting for sure. I look forward to getting after it with this team in the Big 12. I have a lot of experience in the Big 12, playing in high-level games against the Big 12 and how physical the Big 12 is. I think the most physical conference in college basketball. But just trying to be that vocal leader or trying to be that head of experience in the Big 12 when it comes to the Big 12, because a lot of guys on our team have played 30-plus games for 3 to 4 years in college basketball, but just coming from the Big 12 aspect of it all. Just trying to get guys ready, knowing it's physical in practice. Our refs might call terrible calls because we're not going to get those in the Big 12. We might get hit going in for a box out. We might get cracked, things like that. Just everybody collectively getting us ready for that physicality and getting the new guys that are not maybe used to the Big 12 physicality and things like that. For that example is a prime example. And I think as a group, we all taking it very well, understanding we're not going to get every call and understanding we're going to have to play through physicality and things like that. And for us doing that in practice has gotten us ready a lot. And I think we just got to keep working on it and we'll be ready for Big 12.
Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I read this in another story that once you got to Baylor, you canceled the rest of your visits.
Yes.
After that.
Yeah.
What was it about this place and this program?
So I think the coaches all knew this and things like that. I had visits lined up after my Baylor visit. Right after the Baylor visit, I was taking a flight from Waco to my next visit that same night. And my mind was, I'm going on all my visits, it's a big decision for me, and I'm going to take it really seriously, and I'm not going to commit on a visit. I'm not going to commit right on the spot. I wanted to see all my options because, when and done, you never know if that's a possibility in the transfer portal. You need to really look at your options. And I was going in to visit with eyes open, ready to, also my goal wasn't to stay in the Big 12. No one probably hasn't known that, I don't think, but I wanted to go to a different conference and, get a fresh new start. Came on the visit, I know Coach Drew's history, and my mentor / agent, he knows all about basketball and things like that, and he was just filling me on everything because I only been playing basketball for 6-7 years since freshman year of high school, so I don't know a lot, you know what I mean? He was just filling me in on history of Baylor, history of Coach Drew, which is history of Baylor, and I was just flabbergasted, with the information I was hearing. And then on the visit was beautiful. The coaches were super positive. That joy factor that they preach about is very, very true, because most coaches on visits, they're going to tell you everything you want to hear, sugarcoat everything and try to get you to commit, and then practice starts and everything starts. It's a little different, you know what I mean? But that has never changed. And I wanted to see that happen, but it didn't. And that joy factor was still there. Coach Drew is positivity. The coaching staff of the positivity. Coach Charlie, strength coach, like down to nutrition, everybody, like the positivity is still there. Like after a loss in the scrimmage, like everything. And I love that because I'm all about positivity, and that's just who I am, you know. And what sold me was the last stretch of the visit. We were in the conference room right near Coach Drew's office, and you know, they had a presentation and all that types of stuff. And Coach Drew went on for about, I think, like 30 minutes, you know, with his stuff and the coaching staff, and it was unbelievable, you know, like unbelievable. And on the spot, you know, they walked out the room, and I talked with my agent, my dad, and my Uncle Mike, and I talked to my girlfriend on FaceTime as well because she knew everything I was thinking before I came on the visit. And I committed on the spot. I don't want to get into in depth about everything that happened, but like it blew me away. And I was like, this is the place I want to be. Like, followed by faith. That's the number one thing and number one priority in this program and organization, which I love. Me and my family are all about that. And then just the positivity and the basketball, the player development. They never missed a tournament. National championship coach. He doesn't like to toot his own horn, but he's like that. And then just all that. And I committed on the spot, and I was shocked. I think they were shocked as well. We all got excited and happy and things like that, and I had to cancel all my other visits, and that's how it went. I hated doing that, but that's how it went.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.